So for the benefit of those people who managed to log in but halfway through the lesson, I'm going to repeat this lesson again, okay, so that you get the benefit of it. So I hope you have a pen and paper, because you will need to do some work. It's not just going to be me talking through and doing the lesson for you. You will also have to do some work too. So the first thing we're going to do, I'll show you the lesson plan, which I will go through again. We will have a reading task, and then which I will read to you. The reason I'm going to read it to you is because I want you to understand the rhythm of the speech when you're reading. There's a rhythm to how you say things. It's not just about pronouncing each word individually, which a lot of people seem to think. There is... Okay, hello Saeed, I can see you. Excuse, my typing is going to... It usually has errors in it. Okay, so I'm going to read through the text the way it should be read, so that you can get a feel of how the words should be pronounced together. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to just say the words individually and say, oh, I've pronounced the words correctly because it said individually. You need to be able to let your words flow, and there's like a rhythm to English, and you need to learn the rhythm of how words are said. So the purpose of the reading is not... Nice to see you too. The purpose of the reading is not to just pronounce the words. You also have to learn the rhythm of how the words are said. So I will read the text first to show you how the rhythm should come across. Then I will say the words in sentences, which you will then repeat. And then after that, we'll go through each of the sentences together, and then I will repeat it again so that you can repeat it again, so you have practice pronouncing and saying the sentences yourselves. Okay, after we've done that, we will then do we'll then go through some questions on the text we've read, so that I can see or you can see that you've actually understood the meaning of the text. Then we'll do some work on parts of a sentence, so that you understand the different blocks that make up a sentence. We'll also look at some synonyms and meanings of the words from the text, followed by some more pronunciation work, so that you then pronounce the words. We're then not looking just at the rhythm of how we read or the rhythm of how the sentences should be said. We're looking at individual words and how individual words should be said, and then after that we will then do some spellings, okay, so that you can then spell the words that we've looked at. There's not going to be many. I think there's only like 5 or 6. And then after that, I will do a dictation. It's only a couple of sentences where I will read the sentence and then you have to write down the sentence from what you hear. Okay, you will not see any text. I will just say the sentences and then you have to write that down from memory. Now, because we've done the spellings, some of the spelling words will be in there. So if you have spelt them correctly beforehand, you will then be able to spell them correctly in the sentence, and that will help with your sentence construction. Okay, let's make a start. So the first part is, let's do the reading. Let me just double check. Can everybody hear me? Just check. Can you hear me fine before I start reading? I got? Am I going to get a response? Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to just start then. Okay, so when I finish reading, then it's going to be your turn to read after me so that you can practice your pronunciation too. Right, so the little dog was a bad dog. He went in the garden. He dug up all the flowers. The flowers were pretty. When Dad saw what the little dog had done, he was mad. Dad liked the red and pink flowers. When Mum came home from the shops and saw what the dog had done, she was mad too. She also liked the flowers. Dad told off the dog, so that the little dog did not do it again. Okay, now I'm going to read it more slowly, and you have to pick up the rhythm, and then you have to focus on the rhythm rather than the words. Okay, so the little dog was a bad dog. So you say it. The little dog was a bad dog. He went in the garden. He went in the garden. He dug up all the flowers. He dug up all the flowers. The flowers were pretty. The flowers were pretty. When Dad saw what the little dog had done, when Dad saw what the little dog had done, he was mad. He was mad. Dad liked the red and pink flowers. Dad liked the red and pink flowers. When Mum came home from the shops, when Mum came home from the shops and saw what the dog had done, and saw what the dog had done, she was mad too. She was mad too. She also liked the flowers. She also liked the flowers. Dad told off the dog. Dad told off the dog. So that the little dog did not do it again. Did not do it again. So that the little dog did not do it again. Right, I hope you can see that there's a rhythm to how you say the sentence. Okay, so that is, when we do the reading tasks, that is what I want you to focus on. Not just the pronunciation of the words, but the rhythm. The rhythm is actually probably the most difficult thing for new learners to do. A lot of them manage to say the words and pronounce the words well, but they get the rhythm wrong and it just sounds very robotic. So the whole point of the reading is to help you create or produce the rhythm yourselves so that it sounds more clear. Okay, so let's now have a look at the next part. Which are the questions. So, what did the dog do? So, what was the problem that the dog created in the first place? So, let's have a look. So, we can see from the text that he was a bad dog, but what did he do? The sentence is here, he dug up all the flowers. So the dog dug up all the flowers. That's what he did. So let's go back to the second sentence. Who was mad at the dog first? So who was the first person to be mad at the dog? We know there were two people. We know there was Mum and there was Dad. So, but which one was mad at the dog first? If we go back, we know that Mum came home from the shops, so that can't be her. That's a good idea. Go on then, Saeed. Write down for me. You can write down the answers for me then. That's a brilliant idea. Go on then. So, let's see. What was the question? The question was, who was mad at the dog? Can you write that down then? There's a bit of a time delay, isn't there? That's the problem. Yes, the dog dug up the flowers. Brilliant. Okay, so that was the problem. So who was mad at the dog? So if I go back to the text, maybe you can work out who was mad at the dog. Dad was mad at the dog first. Brilliant. Okay, so the next question. What colour were the flowers? I'll put the text back so you can check. What colour were the flowers? Flowers were pink and red. Well done. The flowers were pink and red. Where you wrote Dad was mad on dog, it's not Dad was mad on dog, it's Dad was mad at the dog. So if we have a look at the question, let's go back to the question. The question said, who was mad at the dog? So when you answer your question, you need to say Dad. So you take the who out and you just write Dad was mad at the dog first. Okay, so don't change. It's not on dog, it's mad at the dog. So we use the sentence to help you work out what the answer is. All right, so the next question is, where had Mum been? Flowers were in the garden. Oh, I missed a question. Where were the flowers? Flowers were in the garden. Put the flowers were in the garden. So you take the words from the question in order to construct your answer. So the flowers, don't miss your article out, the flowers were in the garden. Okay? Don't miss out your article, the, and remember to put the full stop in as well. Okay, so the next question is, where had Mum been? So you need to write the answer as Mum had been, and then say, where had Mum been? Mum went to the shops. Don't forget your article, the. Mum went to the shops, or Mum had been to the shops. Okay. Use the sentence to help you. So Mum had been. So use it from the actual question. So the next one, why was Mum mad at the dog? Why was Mum mad at the dog? Mum was mad at the dog because the dog dug up all the flowers. Very good. But remember, your nouns need to have articles. Okay? So, because the dog. All the flowers. Don't miss out the from flowers as well. So you need the dog and the flowers. Okay, so the next one. What did Dad do to the dog? What did Dad do to the dog? If I go back, let me put the text back. What did Dad do to the dog? Make sure you put your articles in when you answer the question. So Dad, and then say, what did Dad do? Okay, Dad told off the dog so that the dog did not do it again. So it should be so that, well done. So that you got the this time, and the first part, the dog did so that the dog did not. So Dad told off the dog so that the dog did not do it again. Okay? You need to put in the second the, so that the dog did not do it again. Okay, so let's have a look at the next part. Moving on. Parts of speech. So we have the same text again here. And this time we're going to look at the different parts of the sentence. So we need to find 4 adjectives. All right. So the 4 adjectives. Now adjectives are words that describe a noun. But I missed articles in all the answers. I know. You shouldn't. That's the point. Don't miss your articles. Don't miss your articles when you're speaking, and don't miss your articles when you're writing. You need to put your articles in. So you need to put, you didn't miss it in all the answers. You put one in the last answer, but you missed it in the second part of that sentence. So you put it in sometimes and then you don't put it in other times. Saeed. Okay? Right. So let's move on to the second part. So we need to find 4 adjectives. Okay? So if we have a look at the text, it's the same text that we read. You can see the text up here at the top. Now, can you write down 4 adjectives? Now, adjectives describe a noun. So the first thing you need to do is identify your nouns. And the way you identify your nouns is by looking for articles. Okay, so the articles we're going to look for are the or a. All right, so if we have a look along the sentence, the first thing we come across is the, and then that belongs to this noun, dog. Okay, so in between we have our adjective, because this will describe the dog. So little describes the dog, which means little is the adjective. An adjective describes a noun. Dog is your noun, so little describes the dog. So little is the adjective. So we're looking for adjectives. So here is the first adjective. So if you go through the text, you should be able to find more adjectives. So you need to find your article first. So here we had the article, the, which is attached to the noun. And then usually the adjective is in between. Sometimes the article comes after the noun. Sorry, not the article. The adjective comes after the noun. So see how many adjectives you can find. The first one is little. It describes the noun. How many more can you find? You can write the adjectives down. I'll give you a little time to work out the adjectives. Okay, there seems to be a delay, and rather than you sitting there for a long time, after the delay goes, I'm going to go through the possible answers you could have had. So we've already identified little. You could also have, let's have a look if we go down. A little pretty mad. Okay. Pretty is good because pretty describes the flowers. We've got the flowers and pretty describes the flowers. So that's right. We have he was mad. So mad is describing he, which is dad. So mad describes dad, which is also an adjective. But like does not describe, like is what you do. That is not describing anything. You like something, so you're doing something. So like is actually a verb. So can you find a different adjective? Let's have a look through these sentences. So we've got the little dog. So little describes dog. Little is an adjective. If we go further along, this time we have dog again, but this time we have the word bad next to dog. So bad is also an adjective. If we go along here, we have the garden, but there is nothing with garden to describe the garden, so there's no adjective here. If we go along here, there's no adjective here either because there's nothing to describe flowers. We've got pretty and we've already got mad. Then we have red and pink flowers. So red and pink describe flowers. So you could have red and pink as your adjectives too. Okay, so let's have a look at verbs. Now, the verb, every sentence has to have a verb. So in this first sentence, the little dog was a bad dog. So was is your verb. Was comes from the verb to be. Being is a doing word. You can be something. So was is your verb here. In this next sentence, he went in the garden. Right, went, that is something you do, you go. So went is the past tense of go. So went is also a verb. He dug up all the flowers. Dug is something you do. He was digging. He was digging up the flowers. So that's something he did. So dug is your next verb. Okay, if we just carry on a little bit further, were. Here we had was, which is for singular, and were is for plural. So were pretty. The flowers were pretty. So they were being pretty. So you can have this as well. So that's another verb. Dad saw. He was looking. He saw. So saw is also a verb. You can see, you can do seeing, so that is also a verb. And done, you can have done. Right, you can't have and because you can't do and. Okay? Oh, unless you're just writing and. Came, went, were. Yeah, you can have those. Well done. Oh, those for the next sentence. So Mum came home from the shops. He went in the garden. Yep. And the flowers were pretty. Well done. Right, those are right too. Okay, moving along then. Let's see. Let's have a look at some synonyms and their meanings. So these are the words that were in the text. Okay. Little, mad, went, told off, and mum. Now, we can use other words instead of these words in the text. And we can change these words to these words. But which word goes with which one? So little. So what is the same as little in this list? So out of angry, small, mother, scolded, and go, which is the word that is similar to little? So write down the word that's similar to little. So you can write them down in order. What is the word that is similar to mad? What is the next word which is similar to went, told off, and mum? Which of these words match up and mean the same as the words on this side? Little, small, mad, angry. Yeah, that's good. What about went, told off, and mum? Do you know which ones are for went, told off, and mum? Went and go, mum and mother, told off and scolded. Very well done. Great. Good job. Right, let's do the next one. Right, pronunciation. Right, let's have a look at these words. Now, normally, we have the word, if we have a look at the spelling of the word little, we have lit and then ul. Now, normally the ul sound comes from an EL or it comes from a UL. But here you can see we have LE and that makes a ul sound as well. So we have lit, ul, little when we put it all together. Then we have mad. So ma'ada, mad. Or we have went, w-e-n. We don't say n, we say n-t. So went. So little mad went. And then here, if we pronounce this phonetically, it should say t-o-ld, told. But we don't say told, we say toe, told. So it's a t-o-ld, told, off. And then the double F is just a f sound, so it's off, off. So told, off. So told, off. And then mum is simple enough, mum. Okay, so we have little, mad, went, told off, and mum. Okay, right, now I'm going to turn this off because on the next screen are some spellings. So I'm going to read the spellings out and then you have to write down what the spellings of these words are. Okay, so are you ready? The first word is little. Can you spell the word little? You can write it down. The second word is mad. Mad. Can you write down the second word? The next word is went. Went. These should be easy anyway. Good job. The word after that is told off. Told off. And then we have dad. Dad. And then finally, mum, which is easy. Mum. Actually, the last two are easy. Very good. Okay, and now I will reveal the answers so you can see what they are. There we go. I can see there's a bit of a delay on this. Just turn this off. Okay, now, well done. Good job. Too easy. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a dictation. All right, so for the dictation, I'm going to read a sentence and you have to write down exactly what I say. Okay, so it will include some of the spelling words that you've done, but you will need to put in the capital letters and the full stops in the right place. I might tell you one or two of them, but I'm not going to tell you all of them. So the sentence is a simple sentence, and then you'll just have to write that down. So we're going to start off with Dad was mad. Dad was mad. He went in the garden. He went in the garden. This is the next sentence. And told off the little dog. And told off the little dog. Okay, and that, let me see if I can, Okay, and that's the end of that sentence. So, okay, so we should have, ta-da! There we go. Good job. Right, you don't put a full stop. I know I had a delay in it, but because I said and, that and needed to join on the sentence before it. So it should have said, he went in the garden and told off the little dog. Okay? So you don't need a full stop after garden because you've got and after it. Okay, but well done. So, that's the end of that lesson. How did you find it? Was that useful? So, tomorrow, I think I might do another lesson tomorrow. So, if you would like to join me then, I'm not sure what time yet, but I will put the time up on the schedule so that you can check and you can join me then. So until tomorrow then, have a good day. Let's have a look. Let me see. There we go. That's the end of the lesson. All right. So I will either talk to you on my messenger in my group and or I will talk to you tomorrow. Okay? All right then. Thanks for joining. Bye.